I'm interested to see this hand here. Bet Perler has raised from almost under the gun with ace-9 of spades, and Bengster called. The flop came 10-6-8 with 2 diamonds. Bengster understandably came out betting because he had the ace-9 of diamonds and Bet Perler called. The turn was Queen of Hearts. Again, Bengster came out betting. He's got ace-9 of diamonds. He can hit any 7, any jack or any diamond. So understandably he's bet again on the turn for 1350. And the river came the jack of diamonds. Bengster bet 2,850. He's now got the nut flush draw. And Bet Perler had called all the way just to hit a gut shot, which is very interesting. King 7 in the big blind, nothing to get excited about, but Bet Perler has just called this time, so it'll be interesting to see what he's doing this time. We've hit middle pin, not great, and we'll only get involved if treble decides to have a go at it. It's unlikely he'd be on the button with 6-8, so when he makes a bet, if he makes a bet, I think it's about time we showed him that we actually have 6-8. He's actually made an almost pot-sized bet, so you would think he's got the 9, so we will be doing very well to get him off the pot. But the only person who's likely to have 6-8 in this situation is me from the big blind. If he pushes all in, then obviously we're in trouble. Okay, ace-2 in the small blind on Ladbrokes, and we don't mind seeing a flop with that hand. And that's not a bad flop for ace-2, so hopefully somebody does have the ace, and we might get some chips from it. Okay, it's a bit risky because you would think he's got the ace. So we could pretend here that we're looking for the flush draw, but if he's looking for the flush draw, that would be extremely good, but we really don't want him to have something like ace-9. If he bets now, you would think he's probably hit the... See, that's not a very comfortable looking bet, so I think we'll raise now. He might think we've got the flush. Now I just made a move on the last hand, so it does remain to be seen. Okay, now if he's got ace-queen, this really will be sick. I can't see that he would have just limped him. Hopefully he's got the flush. Okay, I need to look at this now. I would assume he's got the flush, in all honesty, so let's take a look. Last hand, yeah, he's got the flush. So his small bet on the flop was trying to get a cheap card for the flush. He hit his flush on the turn and he deserved it, to be perfectly honest. On the river he really should have been getting away from that. He's only got a jack high flush. Okay, there's only one flush that's actually beating him, but you've got to think you're behind if I'm raising on that turn. 10 jack suited, and the cutoff is a hand we would be raising with normally, but we've got Brunio here and there's every chance that he'll be pushing all in, so I don't think raising to 500 is a sensible idea because it's pretty much giving away 870, so we won't even call that. So standard, just less than 3 times. Now we're out of position, so I don't think we'll go too much further unless we hit the 9. If we put in a bet here of 900, we either win or we stop playing. Okay, we stop playing. We do now have the open-ended straight draw, so if we can get in cheap enough, we'll take it. Okay, but you've got to put him on something like, I don't think I can win the pot from here. You've got to put him on something like ace jack. I suppose he could have had a 9 in his hand. Now that's a strange bet. And like a fool, I'm looking for reasons to call rather than reasons to fold. Why would he have called that? Why would he have called that flop and then check that turn? He can't have hit the flush. 7-8, I suppose he could have had 5-6. What would he have called that flop with? Pair of 7s, I suppose. But there's absolutely nothing we can be beating. So we'll get rid. If he outplayed me, he outplayed me, but I can't see what he was calling there with on the flop. Again, a hand I don't mind raising with. Bet Perla calls out of position. Now I'm going to check behind here to make it really look like I've got that jack. And we get a flush draw, so now we can take a stab at it. I think if we call here and we hit, there's every chance we could take the whole of his stack. So could be worth the risk for the implied odds. And if he checks on the river, we'll definitely be making a bet at it, because this pause does look like we've got the jack. We've hit the club. Now what sort of hand would he have called with pre-flop? You could say jack queen, king jack, ace jack. I can't see that he's called with any of those other cards, maybe the 3s, but I think I'm happy to take the risk here and hope that he's got the jack. And my guess is that he does have the jack. I really cannot believe what I'm seeing there. I cannot believe what I'm seeing there. He's actually called my pre-flop raise with 10-4 of diamonds. He's bet that turn, which is fair enough. You know, he's seen the weakness. But then I've made the call, so that is a sign of strength more than anything. Then he's bet out on the river with 10-4 of diamonds. If I'm drawing, I've just hit. If I've got the jack, I'm beating him. And I've raised it up on the river, and he's called me with just the 4. Now that is truly shocking. That's a hero call gone bad. But we'll take it. So Ladbrokes, time to look in the lobby. We started with 248 players, 82 players remaining, and we're doing okay. The average chip stack 7,600, and we're on 24,000. Back to ipoker. Let's see what the standing is on here. The stats say 154 started, and we're in 28th position from 81, obviously after the rebuy period. Now Bet Perla, we've seen can raise with any old rubbish from early position, but occasionally they're going to hit, so I don't think ace 10 is good enough to call even on the button.